What up, party animals? How are you? Hope you're well. I wanted to do a general energy forecast for February tonight using my own rough draft of an oracle here. It's proved to be quite a resource so far. And then I also have the Modern Witch Tarot. So we'll do a Celtic cross on the month with the straightforward direct oracle over here, and then we will pull a couple of Modern Witch cards. If you haven't already seen it, I did do a big tarot oracle reading for the whole year, month by month, and I have it in a playlist. It's 2022 yearly predictions or whatever, but that'll be really good to go in and get just more decks, more variety. I go deep into like the archetypal energies of the month and our like major things that we are going to be facing, but I felt like if I wanted to come on and do another energy forecast for the month, and this time I wanted to do it with this deck. It's a very like plain, like you're talking to your best friend and they're not sparing you any like consideration. It's like they're just telling it like it is. So I think what better can we get than some straightforward advice? So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, first card represents us in the context of this current moment that we find ourselves in. Moments are always changing, we're always changing, but this is if we took our temperature, this would be the energy of us right now. Save your money. Not right now. Wise spending and saving, conserve your funds. There's a better option waiting. So right now, I feel like I know for myself, I'm just coming out of a career and, you know, starting a new job. And then we came out of I had COVID and worked for a few weeks and, you know, went into January, and that's usually like a pretty slow time of year for people who work in entertainment or service industry. So a lot of us right now may be squirreling away our acorns, which is great. And I think that too, there's positive change coming. It's just like, don't do anything crazy, like spending your eggs before you get them kind of thing. Like really let your money build up. Don't make any impulse purchases. Also don't feel nervous or hoarding with your money. It's kind of be conservative so you feel stable. There's more where that came from. More is on the way. This is just a temporary lull, or the after effects of a temporary lull that has already come and gone. But things will be better soon. Just stick tight, lay low, be practical, and don't make any big purchases if you can. Yeah, and because this year is all about building good foundations in all the major areas of your life. And so money, security, job, house and home, those are all related. So just continue to make practical choices and keep building that up, and don't do anything irrational or whatever. It's Four of Pentacles is very much the energy of balance. It's don't hoard too much and don't spend too much. And I think that that's a good practice. And also it's saving money is the best thing you can do to build future financial independence. What you want to do is have a diversified income and have ways to have passive income generating. And one way to do that, and I think it's good to have different ways to do that, so that if there's fluctuations in one, the other ones will always, you have backup plans. So, saving money and putting it in a savings that generates you earned interest, that's a win-win. Make your money earn money for you is the goal. So what's crossing us right now? What influence of opportunity or challenge? Ooh, under the table. It's that's the one that I want, the one that's so far away. I gotta climb up there. I'm back. Let's see. True love. Well, how far will you go for love? Well, I'll push my coffee table away mid reading, mid video. So true love's coming, people, and you know, maybe that's actual love, and maybe it's like a life that you love. Maybe it's generating a feeling of love in your day-to-day, loving what you do, loving when you wake up in the morning. I know that that's kind of how my life is starting to become, and it always has. I've always been that bohemian that like wants, I prioritize having a life that I love more than having the security that other people do. So in a way, you know, people around me might think, oh wow, like she, you know, doesn't have like the security that I have, so she must feel blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, I actually feel great. Like I feel free, and I feel like I can use my time for the most part how I want to. And I can't even imagine like trying to go to like a job Monday through Friday, like 9 to 5, and like sit in traffic and then try to like be myself like during the in-between times that I'm allowed to, that I'm not eating or like sleeping or like cleaning myself. Like that's one reason I left film, because even though you know, you are kind of more like a carnival worker, you're also like a pirate, and you're at the mercy of the boat. You know, when is the ship gonna take off again? You know, the carnival has to like, carnival worker has to go with the carnival. You know, the circus person is like chained to the circus, and I wanted even more freedom. So yeah. So maybe, you know, you're building a life that you truly love, and the more that you get like authentically immersed in that life that you love, the more that you can generate this magnetism and this like clear signal to the universe of like who would complement that life, you know. And I think it's one thing I think it's good to mention, and it's like February, so this is love month, right? This is the whole like, I mean, this energy crossing us of true love. That's kind of like what people are preoccupied with for February, at least in the first 2 weeks of the month, you know, because they're thinking about Valentine's Day, and you know, I mean, not that's like, it ranges on significance for different people, but it does get everybody, the whole zeitgeist, focused on romance and love and amour, and you kind of think like, oh, you know, what does that look like for me? Am I like, you know, idealized way, or in my realistic way, or my jaded way? Like what, you know, we're all contemplating love. And so yeah, I think that the more you're tuned in to what you love, then something can come that will match your life. Oh, and that's what I was gonna say, is that I feel like I think people think that they have to find, like, it's not a good person for them if they don't have like everything in common, or if that person doesn't meet like every single one of their like the needs that they have in their life. But it's like no one person usually can do that for anyone, and I think it's going to be healthier as we as a human race move into the future if we can start accepting the fact that, you know, these idealized Disney ideas of like these like perfect people that are like gonna like come storming into our lives, like this is not, there are no people like that. Everyone has their own like fucked up trauma from childhood that they're getting over. Even if they had an idealistic childhood, something somewhere like got screwed up. We're all fatally flawed, so no one's gonna be super perfect. So I think that instead of thinking that you have to have like over the top amount of things in common with someone, or that you have to have like all the same values, or like, you know, don't be so rigid. What you need are complementing things, and it's really mostly about like the things that are really going to affect you on a day-to-day. Like, do you have complementing tastes in music and like movies? Do you enjoy kind of like doing the same stuff sometimes together and many times apart? Like, do you get along with the people that, you know, are around you? Like, you don't have to like be obsessed with their friend groups or whatever, but is everybody like getting along? Like, does your life meld well together? Like, do you like the same foods? If you are like loving a steak, you probably don't want to take dating a vegan very seriously, because like, how are you gonna like, you're gonna make separate meals for the rest of your life? I know I like sharing a meal with people, so I need someone who is at least going to eat like most of the stuff that I will too, or be adventurous about food, or, you know, they have the same kind of like, they like to take trips the same way that you do, or like they like to use their time off in a complimenting way. Like if you're completely not complimenting at all, then you're not gonna like, you're never gonna want to watch the same thing. You're not gonna like, you're gonna hate each other's music, and like those people can still have a great relationship probably, but I don't know, it depends on like what you value. I don't know, I value spirituality and faith and, you know, even religion. Like I like religion, although I think it is very flawed, and human beings have like done terrible things with it. Like I hate what you've done with the place. But I've always dated agnostics and atheists. Like it's never been a problem for me. But I'm not like, you know, Westboro Baptist evangelical either. So I don't know, maybe that's why. But maybe true love is crossing you soon. So love and money are connected. They're both ruled by Venus. So the better you get healthy in both of those areas, I mean, it's not gonna make it worse, that's for sure. Not gonna make love worse. Let's see what I wrote for true love. There is true and deep love here. Relationships that challenge us to grow. True devotion and commitment. This person or situation is coming from the vibration of pure love. I think it's also helpful to note that in regards to soulmates, we can have many soulmates, and like so we can come from a whole soul tribe of people who are supposed to be like soulmate parents, teachers, friends, people say pets, like lovers who come and go, lovers who might be soulmates forever. But even if you do get that like perfect soulmate forever person, it doesn't mean that the relationship is just gonna be like go off without a hitch. Like more true than anything, this person will mirror you, and they will force you to grow, and they will force you to look at the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding. But they will also like show you the most magnificent versions of yourself too. They'll bring out the best in you, but they'll also trigger you to like heal the parts of yourself that aren't healed, and you'll do that for them, and it'll be like a mutual thing. But yeah, it's good for us to like let ourselves be disillusioned in a positive way about like what we really expect as mature adults for like a relationship to be. You know, you have to work on yourself, and you have to work it's not enough to work on yourself, and it's not just enough to work on like how the guy shows up in the relationship or the girl shows up in the relationship in the dating phase or even in the relationship phase. Like there's actual like learning to do about having like knowing how to functionally relationship. Like so it's like the relationship is like a whole entity of itself. And you know what? I think the next time I'm in a dating situation, so I'm going to put this out there now, you know, world, I think that it would be good for both of you to read like the same relationship books like at the same time, like a book club, and like discuss the chapter that you're on that week, you know? And I mean like that, I don't know if that's not that sounds like torture. You probably don't want to go out with me, because like that sounds like actually like fun for me. Like, oh, how fun, like totally. Book club. Okay, so true love. Let's see. Okay, so this card came out too with that one, and I feel like those are kind of like really matching together. So I feel like we're gonna use this one for our subconscious influence. Find a coach or teacher. More study is needed. Apprentice, enthusiastic student, continued education, training, master a skill. Couldn't be more perfect. So in the position of what is a subconscious influence, it says like find a coach or teacher, which means you need to learn what part of your subconscious is driving you in your life. And particularly in the realm of relationships, our subconscious is really making those choices for us until we become more aware of it. And then we like go back and correct like the childhood like trauma or whatever subconscious imprintation was put there by, it doesn't necessarily, it's not always the parents. It's sometimes just like things that you pick up from your surroundings, your culture, community, your friends, like all of these like impressionable years that you spend as a kid growing up, and the earlier the more impressionable, like these subconscious like ideas get put in your, you know, memory bank, and you don't even know it. And then that is the thing that's like the operating system of like finding partners. And usually until you're aware of that, and this is some, you know, things that I'm learning now from reading like, you know, relationship books, but like you end up with someone or creating the circumstances or conditions in your relationship that produce the conditions of the parent that you had like the unhealthiest connection with. So that's something to note. And I think that the more we become aware of those subconscious patterns and tendencies and where they're coming from and why, the more they have less of an effect or the influence over us, especially if we're pairing that with pausing whenever something comes up where we're like, you know, you want to like make a reaction, or you feel like gripped with fear, or like you want to like try to control something. We learn in Kabbalah 1, pause. What a pleasure. Why is this in my movie? And you imagine that no matter what is going on, it's like the creator force or the light, however you want to like, whatever, the force, may the force be with you. The force is sending you a message at that moment that's like, okay, this is like a part of your ego that's still triggered, so you can find a way to transcend this if you wish, and it'll elevate your soul, and things in your life will elevate with you. So pause, what a pleasure, when you're triggered, and that will give you a moment to go, okay, what is this really about? Maybe you can like try to pinpoint the feeling that it's causing, and then you can go back and say, okay, where's the furthest back that I can remember having like a significant experience in this area? And it's great to do this when you can be in sort of like a trance-like state. Like I get there when I'm running, when I'm walking. You can do meditative exercises where you particularly specifically like make sure that your heels are, your heels on your feet are like elevated and they're like suspended, because it does something in your brain where it takes you from parasympathetic, where that's like the fight or flight, into when I did that, I look like a 1920s man. In fact, I look like an Icelandic fisherman right now. Yeah, but you go from fight or flight to like a rest and digest phase of your nervous system. So the easiest way to do this is join the pathway to Be Magnetic, because they have like this whole bank of like guided meditations they take you through for different things and different categories. Not an affiliate, but I should be. So if you're thinking of signing up, let me know. Maybe I'll see if there's an affiliate link I can sign up for like super fast. Just kidding. Or let me know, whatever. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, so find a coach or teacher. So study the subconscious, understand what is driving you, and like that way that you become less triggered, and you can make decisions, and you can like sort of like your feelings become clearer, because you're less confused about like where it's coming from and why. Like if you know your motivations for things, and then you can feel your feelings, and then like decipher like which one's which, and like do you see how it starts like becoming clearer to you. All right. Influence from the past that is still lingering in the situation. This could be knowledge that you're bringing from the past, or it could be fear, patterning, an event that's still, the influence of the event is still lingering. So what do we have from the past? Deep sleep. Okay, so this came up the other day in our other reading for the new moon. Deep sleep, get a healthy sleep cycles in. I think that there's something significant about like useful deep sleep. I think it's beyond, sorry, there was a dust that just fell. It was like a big string. It's like not just about physical health sleep. There's a lot of like soul work that we do in the sleep realm, in the deep sleep realm, and we have to get into that really deep sleep in order for our soul to like separate and go do its thing. Like you can do astral projecting and lucid dreaming, and that's when your conscious mind is like participating while it's all happening. But whether or not you try to do that or not, like your soul is already like going off and like doing all kinds of things in the astral realms while you sleep. And it's going back and basically like learning, meeting with soul guides and teachers. It's going through purification processes. It's going through being evaluated and like judged and, you know, given your, you know, like whatever, however your energy balanced out for the day, you know, are you positive? Are you know, are you sharing? Are you selfish? Whatever. All that stuff happens at night in your sleep. But I do think that for some of us, we have very vivid dreams. We have prophetic dreams, and we may actually meet up with people that we know that are soulmates, that are in our soul tribe, and we may actually work together in dreams, like in like helping each other like heal and mirror and do the work of like evolving our soul, and possibly the work that we have to also do to like help evolve the consciousness of the planet. There's so much that goes on like on an energetic level that we're doing, that we are contributing to, that we don't even realize, like on a mass scale. So I think that I keep thinking that there's something about a period of time where you kept dreaming about someone, or dreaming about a theme, or you kept going back to like a reoccurring place or whatever. And there's something about that that's connected to all of these things happening right now. So be aware of that, and be aware of your dreams now. Like as you're dreaming, those themes might be circling back around. Maybe keep a journal by the bed. Do your best to remember them when you wake up. I hate it because I always wake up and like as I'm waking up, I'm like, oh, that was such a vivid dream. I totally understand what that was. And then when I go to write it down, I'm like, I was in like a place. Somebody like talking about a thing. I don't know. There's like an ocean. Like I can never, like it's always hard to pull the pieces back together. But when I can, it's usually like, you know, fairly profound, or very vividly like making clear what I'm going through. If I don't have the clarity to like name the feeling, or be able to like articulate what it is that I'm feeling at the moment in my life in that season, the dream will kind of like reflect that back to me. Crowning us. What has the potential? What's the energy that's for us now? This is a spiritual issue to overcome. Cool. So even with the save your money, making that a spiritual issue would be overcoming a scarcity mindset that you're not enough, or that you don't have enough to offer in any given situation. So if that's a spiritual issue, also money is tied to self-worth. And it's also tied to mother wounds. So I know that I think February did have something to do with mother healing, and we're on and off with like father-mother healing all year, but the mother wound is a huge thing for the year, to heal that and to like get that thriving, that relationship. But yeah, so this is a spiritual issue to overcome. I'm just gonna read the card. This experience is serving to challenge you for your spiritual transformation, growth through challenges. You are supposed to go through this right now. You're supposed to go through this right now. Peace. There is something to glean from this. Sorry, my handwriting is like that of like a enraged psychopath. Pause. How you meet this moment can change the situation. Overcoming reactivity. The situation might seem like a surface or material issue, but it's connected to a spiritual lesson that you're meant to learn in this moment. Tests, learning, embodying, challenges, spiritual transformation. So there's the potential to have massive transformation through the conditions of this moment by, you know, self-discovery, through exploring the subconscious, through letting that teach you and lead you and guide you, for allowing the influence of love to take hold and override the influence of your ego. And try to get good sleep cycles in, because there's something that's important that's happening on a mystical level that you might not even be able to remember, but it is making a difference, and it's elevating you at a very quick pace. What's ahead? Addiction, codependency, negative behavioral patterns, negative behavioral, thought, or emotional patterns. And so I think that whenever we've been like kind of stable in our lives for a minute, and then there's like a surge of energy to shake things up, it triggers anything that we're addicted to or we're codependent with. And so it's like we're not ever going to totally get over those things. They come back in cycles once you're okay. So it's like boxing practice, and like maybe your coach like gives you a good beating, and then like once you recover, it's like, all right, you ready? I'm gonna come back at you again. Like, here's another set. Like, so it's like, that's kind of like how it is. We learn, we stabilize, we get our breath, and then it's like, all right, back at it. Like, so don't feel discouraged. Just know and be prepared that you have foresight about your patterns. And so when things in your life are changing, even for the good, sometimes exciting good changes can happen. And if someone has addictive tendencies, then they're gonna probably, and their low self-worth that's hiding in their subconscious is gonna say like, you don't deserve that. But you're not gonna think that. You're gonna be like, I deserve this. But your subconscious will be like, no, you don't. And it's gonna be like self-sabotage. So avoid the tendency to self-sabotage. What is the perception, your perception, that is affecting the situation? What is your perception? This is tied to shame. This was in the reading the other day. So you need clarity, you need confirmation. This is tied to shame. So whatever, all of this, the addiction, the codependency, the subconscious influence, whatever's blocking you from allowing yourself to have a life that you truly love, that will allow a true love to come into your life, it all has to do with the spiritual issue of overcoming and healing something that has caused you great shame. So if you will do a journal entry and write out like, I'm ashamed of this, or if someone were to see this about me, I would be so ashamed, or like if someone were to drop in and see my shame, what would they see? Like, what is it that you're ashamed of and that you don't want people to find out, or that you would rather them not know about you? And it might be things that are out in the open, but explore every single thing you can think of. Dig. What am I ashamed of? Start getting that into the light, because when you face it, it has less and less power over you. This is tied to shame, reaction, pattern, behavior, trigger, cycle, lesson, experience, situation, archetypal person, whatever it may be, the situation is tied to shame. This is a good opportunity to explore the pattern and take action in a different direction. This pattern or cycle is rooted in shame. When shame is triggered in you about that wound you carry, you are sent spiraling into a familiar pattern. This is because you are confronted with something that you find overwhelming in some way, and you react. This is because you are confronted with something that you find overwhelming in some way, and you react by reaching to whatever thing, person, or situation that is familiar to you and brings you some sort of instant relief, gratification, or false sense of security, to avoid facing the pain of the pattern head on and moving through the fear. Facing the pattern head on and moving through the fear. Next time your shame is triggered, examine what you impulsively feel compelled to do. Ask yourself what you think you will receive from doing this. Is this the thing that perpetuates the pattern? It is time to break the pattern by staying true to what you are truly worthy of. There you go. So crazy that was I mean, no, it's not. I say that every time. I'm like, whoa, so crazy, so magical. Whoa. I'm like, it's as if I don't completely, like, I'm already convinced. Okay, outer influences. Influences on you coming from others. Focus on gratitude. I think that whenever you have one of those cards that's like focus on gratitude or like forgiving and learning, it's like, oh, well, that must mean that you aren't being grateful or you're not being forgiving. So I would say that the way to improve the influence that anyone has over you is just to start declaring how grateful you are for them. If they're triggering you, I'm so grateful that they're showing me like what needs to be adjusted in me. If they're a wonderful person that you love and that, you know, they're bringing so much sunshine in your life, like I'm so grateful for their, you know, for the breeze of fresh air that is this person. If they're the funny person, like I'm so grateful that they're so funny. Like I'm so grateful that, you know, of anything, any little, you know, all the people in your life that love and support you, be grateful for them. Any nice, like, I'm trying to be careful how I say this, but like any nice show of attention, just be grateful. Like if, like, I'm just thinking right now, like how, like a girl can be walking through like a bunch of like construction workers. This sounds really cliche, but it's true. And they might be like, woo! And she's like, oh my God, oh, so violated. They're so gross or whatever. Or like, what beasts? And then like another girl can walk through and they're like, woo! And she's like, oh man, thank you. Like, gives me like a boost. So I don't know, just focus on the gratitude. No matter what it is, like just be grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful for your job. Be grateful for your fucking coworker that's microwaving like salmon for the umpteenth day in the microwave and making everything gross. Like just be grateful. And it really, really changes the vibration of the situation. It really does. It's like if anything's more powerful than love, it's probably gratitude. All right. Hopes, fears, and wishes. Oh, this is really a lucky chance. Good luck, a blessing, a good opportunity. You guys, when preparedness meets timing, that's when luck happens. Oprah said it, not me, but like she says it better too. So like look up those keywords and she'll say it right. But yeah, so we have been preparing. That's what we've been doing. And timing, that was an issue in our reading the other day. It's like the timing is just as important as anything. And so I think that those things are getting ready to collide, people, because under the wishes position, we get a lucky chance. That's like getting the 9 of Cups here. That's like getting wishes come true here. So I'm just not even gonna like talk that out, beat that dead horse. Okay, so, and then the outcome is you need to be more motivated. And this was in the reading the other day. And we were talking about that. We were like, we've just been told to rest all this time. And now it's like, get more motivated. So I think it means like, now that you feel sober and like neutral and kind of flat, now that things are getting under control, and now that you've rested and we haven't gone out all crazy and guns blazing, it's like, all right, start revving up your engines. Start getting real motivated at work. Start getting really motivated and like getting your health all together. Start revving up the engines of desire within you for the things that you want. Because one of the ingredients of making your manifestation a reality is having deep desire. You have to have an eternal, endless well of desire within you, and also be able to have complete detachment in the outcome of the situation. That's what I mean when I say like, okay, magic and like mysticism, it's all very like clear ingredients, almost like a science, but it's an art because you have to be able to summon your own strength to be just a functional human being. So yes, so be more motivated. So get that desire going. Do what you need to do to be that next level person that you want to be. You know, I will say this, like I love making these videos. And it's been really fulfilling, and I'm gonna keep doing it, or, you know, knock on wood, I have so far. And it's always scary to say, like, I'm gonna do one every day for a year, because it's like, well, what if I don't? I'm gonna, like, who cares, right? But I do, and so I want to hold myself accountable, and I have so far. It's not that I have to make a video every day, I just have to have a video to post every day. So it's not cheating to, like, batch them or whatever, but so I just need to release a piece of content every day. Now that consistency, the consistency is the magic, because then, as we were talking about the other day, the opponent can't mess with you in that area. So it's just like, all right, well, this is like ironclad, so this is a waste of my energy, so I will go mess with something else, right? So be so consistent to just show up, be motivated, find the motivation you need to keep doing it, because it will feel like a slog. We are in a building year. We're letting our foundation, the concrete has been setting over the past few weeks, this new foundation, and now it is firm enough for us to begin to build a structure, a skeleton. What is it? The framework. We can put it in the framework, right? We have to get motivated to do that, and we have to stay motivated, because it's not always going to be the funnest. Like, some days I get really tired, and I don't have, like, a backup video for the day, and I'm like, oh, I have to film. And I almost didn't film this tonight, but I knew that because I didn't feel like it, there was probably a lot of something very significant that needed to be said in this video for someone out there somewhere, because something was stopping me from wanting to do it. I was even going to do another card that was just like a quick lesson, and I was like, no, I wanted to do this Celtic cross. I'm gonna do this. I'm starving. I'm gonna make Cajun beans and rice, and it's gonna take a minute because I'm gonna have to get in there and, like, smash those half of the beans up so it's nice and creamy. It's gonna be really good. I'm really excited about it because I'm a faster. I don't really eat during the day. I'm a nocturnal feeder. So by the time I get to this point of the day, I'm, like, starving, and I've got, like, 2 hours ahead of me before I'm probably gonna eat. So it's like, even through all of that, be more motivated, because when it's the hardest, that's when it makes the biggest difference. If you meditate, or you do your prayers, or you do your spiritual practice when you don't feel like it, that's when you get the biggest blessing from it. It's not always when you're like already in it and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna sit down and do this. It's like, usually, like, the universe gives you, like, it reveals even more light because you had to overcome yourself. It's like what we were talking about the other day. It's like when you overcome, you know, yourself, it's the bigger sacrifice, and it reveals the most light. All right, I want to pull 3 of these. All right, what do we need to know going forward to overcome our shame, practice gratitude? Oh, we have 2 of Pentacles. Oh, 3 all together. Oh, girl. Okay, I love it. So, perfect. We have 2 of Pentacles, followed by 2 of Wands, followed by 7 of Pentacles. I don't know how this could get any more perfect, because she's like one of the cutest people in the deck to me. I love her. I've like got the same hair vibe, love that dress, like, love her so much. So she is juggling responsibility. She's juggling projects. She has different balls up in the air. She's juggling them all. Okay, so this is about task juggling. This is about managing your energy. This is about being able to kind of juggle responsibilities but still have a sense of fun in your life. So responsibility and fun. You want a balance of both, right? I'm not going to go too deep into the 2 of Pentacles, because that's basically what we're saying here. This month is about bringing a fun, zest, true love, like, flirt with life, lust for life, have fun with life, but you also have to do the work of getting into that subconscious, and don't be afraid of it. Like, it can be, it may not be as bad as you think. Sometimes the first wave of it it's very hard to, like, start self-help at first, because you're like, whoa. But if you're, like, comfortable with crying it out, then, like, it'll be fine. It's not going to be like that forever. It's just this, like, all the rush of it needs to, like, get out and purge, and then it starts to lessen, and the charge isn't there anymore. You don't feel that, like, oh, every time. Two of Wands is about having a bit of progress. It's about combining two forces. Sometimes in business, this is about maybe like discovering a partner, meeting a partner, and then like combining, like pairing up in partnership and having a shared vision to go forward. So things are coming together. You're balancing things out. Things are coming together. You're getting more of, your passion is growing, and you're starting to get a better handle on your self-worth and your self-esteem, and these these subconscious influences that are triggering your shame. It's like you're starting to overcome that, and you're getting a stronger sense of self. So you're starting to feel the enthusiasm and the motivation you feel when you're like, oh, okay, I can start seeing how, like, I can barely see a little green poking through the dark soil. All right, let's do this. This is happening. Cucumbers by summer. So this is the beginnings of, like, the initial inspiration came. You started following up with it. Now you're in it. You're taking your steps, and a real motivation is growing because you can see like the long-term value that's happening here. And then Seven of Pentacles, we actually already had earlier this week, is about being patient and letting things take the time that they need to start blooming. You can't force anything to happen fast. The more you allow things to unfold slowly in their own timing, the faster it'll actually happen. Like once it gets started, it's just like, it's like avoiding rush hour by like having a happy hour drink, and you get home in like 30 minutes instead of like sitting in an enraged, like cold sweat for hours, like trying to avoid near death at every turn, and people who are like all angry and like pissy and like wanting to go home. Instead, go have some wings and a beer. Have some wings and a beer. Soon true love will be here. That was awful. That was awful. All right. Well, I'm starving, and I'm going to watch, I think I might watch the Book of Boba Fett and touch base, because I heard that the Mandalorian has made an appearance, and maybe little Yoda, maybe little baby son. I hope I didn't say too much, but it's a serial show, so it's not like an ongoing storyline that's unfolding, at least not episode by episode. But actually last night I went back and I'm starting to rewatch The Americans again, because I'd mentioned it in a video. I mentioned something about like the Americans moving a dead body, and I was thinking, wow, if nobody knows what I'm talking about, they're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about, Liz? Moving dead bodies, which is not that unusual for me to say. But yeah, The Americans, if you've never seen it, it is amazing. It's set in the 80s, Cold War, KGB, Russian spies here posed as an American couple, Elizabeth and Philip, Carrie Russell, and the guy who plays her husband in the show, I can't remember his name, but he's like so intense, so amazing. And he was just in something else really good recently, I can't remember. But enough about that. We're 45 minutes in. I'm sorry. I'm going to eat, and I'm taking up more of your time.